They told me to get out, right there in the middle of a five-star hotel lobby, loud enough for every guest and staff member to hear. "You're broke," the woman said, like I was some beggar trying to sneak into her private club. Yeah, that happened. What they didn't know was, this hotel, it belonged to my husband. And the only thing more satisfying than watching her throw me out was watching her face when she found out who I really was. See, it all started earlier that morning. My husband, Christopher, had just acquired the Grand Wellington. It was supposed to be one of the crown jewels in his portfolio, a classic luxury hotel with history and elegance, but he had a feeling the staff weren't living up to the name. So he asked me, Charlotte, to go undercover. Not in a wig or disguise, just me, dressed like I usually am. Jeans, sneakers, no fancy jewelry. He said, "I need real eyes on this place. No one knows you. Just observe." I walked in trying to keep an open mind, but from the moment I stepped through those revolving doors, I felt it. That slow, creeping judgment, the kind that doesn't come with words, just tight smiles and side eyes. The doorman barely held the door. The front desk guy, James, looked at me like I was lost. "Do you have a reservation?" he asked. "Not yet," I said. "Just wanted to see the rooms." He hesitated, then told me the price, like it was supposed to scare me off. But I smiled and said that was fine. Then came Victoria. Now, Victoria was all pearls and posture, the kind of woman who treats customer service like it's beneath her. She walked over, looked me up and down, and said, "Perhaps another hotel would suit your budget." I said I was still interested in staying. Her smile got tighter. "This is a five-star hotel. We cater to a certain standard." And then she walked away like I wasn't even worth finishing the sentence for. But I stayed. I walked around, took mental notes. The carpets were frayed in spots. The bar staff were chatting instead of serving. The restaurant told me they were full, even though half the tables were empty. Every place I went, someone either ignored me or tried to push me out. And then, just as I was about to check out the pool, Victoria came back, with security. She said, loud and proud, that several guests had complained about me, that unless I was checking in right now, I needed to leave. I said I was just exploring, possibly booking a room. She laughed. "Please, we both know that's not true." And before I could say anything else, 2 guards were on either side of me, walking me to the exit like I'd stolen silverware or something. That would have been bad enough. But then, at the door, she turned to the crowd that had gathered and said, "Get out. You're broke. Go find a motel that matches your budget." Her voice echoed off the marble. I stumbled a little when they pushed me through the revolving door, and no one, not one staff member, said a word. Outside, I stood there, shaking, trying to process what had just happened. I texted Christopher, "You won't believe what just happened." He replied instantly, "I'm 2 minutes away." And right on cue, that black sedan pulled up. He stepped out, perfect suit, calm face. But the moment he saw me standing outside instead of waiting in the lobby, I saw the concern in his eyes. "Charlie?" he asked. "What happened?" I told him everything, and his jaw tightened. Not in an explosive way, more like a slow boil. The kind of quiet anger that only means one thing: something's about to go down. He walked in through those same revolving doors, with me right behind him. Victoria saw him coming, and immediately plastered on that fake hospitality smile. "Sir, can I help you?" Christopher didn't even slow down. "You already have," he said. "I'm Christopher Morgan, and this," he gestured to me, "is my wife." You could have heard a pin drop. James at the desk looked like he might throw up. The security guards suddenly found the floor very interesting. "And Victoria?" She froze. I didn't know." "That's the problem," Christopher said, still calm, but every word hit like a brick. "You thought she was nobody, so you treated her like garbage." He called a meeting, right there. Every staff member, every manager, dragged into the conference room. And then he laid it all out. "This wasn't just about my wife," he said. "It was about how you treat anyone who doesn't fit your mold. How many people like her have been pushed out of this hotel? How many have been made to feel small because they weren't wearing designer shoes?" He turned to Victoria. "You didn't just fail to recognize my wife. You failed to recognize human dignity." And just like that, she was fired. So was the hospitality director who watched it all happen. The security guards were gone too. Reception staff were placed on probation. And the message was loud and clear. If you judge people by their clothes or wallet, you don't belong here. Fast forward a month. The Grand Wellington is unrecognizable. The staff actually smile now. Real smiles, not those tight-lipped, forced ones. Guests are greeted warmly, whether they roll up in a Bentley or come in with a backpack and a bus ticket. Guest satisfaction's up, bookings are through the roof, and the vibe? Completely transformed. And Victoria? She reached out, wanted a meeting, said she wanted to apologize. We agreed. She showed up in plain clothes, nothing fancy. Said she'd moved into a small apartment after getting fired, had to downsize. Her neighbors were teachers, service workers, retirees, people she used to look down on. And you know what? She said they welcomed her, listened to her ideas, treated her with more respect than she ever gave them. "I learned something," she told me. "Class isn't about clothes or money. It's how you treat people." Christopher didn't offer her a job, but he gave her a card. Told her about a mentorship program we'd started to train young people from underserved communities in hospitality. If she really wanted redemption, that's where to start. And you know what? I think she will. Now let me ask you, have you ever been judged by how you looked? Or seen someone else get treated unfairly because they didn't look the part? What would you have done if you were standing in that hotel lobby? Drop it in the comments. I want to hear your story. Because no matter what you're wearing or where you came from, you deserve to be treated like a human being. And if you ask me, that's what real class looks like.